Mr. Speaker, new information was just revealed that the Prime Minister's office refused to release documents to the RCMP during their SNC-Lavalin investigation. Wow. At the Ethics Committee, MPs were in the room, the RCMP Commissioner was in the room, ready to testify on the RCMP's obstruction of justice investigation into the Prime Minister's SNC-Lavalin scandal. Then the NDP Liberal government abruptly shut down the Ethics Committee before the RCMP Commissioner could testify. After 8 years, this Prime Minister isn't worth the cost. What is the cover-up coalition hiding?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, I have to admit, after yesterday's performance, I'm surprised the Conservatives would dare go down this road in dealing with the fact that they had 26 opportunities to move a motion to bring forward the RCMP to committee, but instead they choose to use that as a political ploy to block the study of looking into a lobbyist-paid trip by 5 Conservatives, including $1,800 worth of champagne. Bill, $1,200 oyster bar bill. Wow. Mr. Speaker, talk about cover-up. Yeah.
Colleagues, I'm certain we all want to give our attention to the Member of Parliament who has the floor next to ask a question, the Honourable Member from Kelowna Lake Country.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the only person in this place that has broken ethics laws twice is the Prime Minister.
That's right. Yeah.
And the Prime Minister said when he took office that the government and its information must be open by default. But after 8 years, the Prime Minister only wants to cover up the truth. The RCMP Commissioner made himself available to answer questions, but the NDP Liberal government doesn't want him to speak. We've learnt it was the Prime Minister's office who blocked the RCMP from getting key documents during the SNC-Lavalin investigation. This Prime Minister is not worth the cost. What is the cover-up coalition hiding?
Good question.
L'honorable secrétaire parlementaire.
Mr. Speaker, it's interesting to me that the Conservatives would once again talk about cover-up when it's they who are using political tactics to block the study of looking into a lobbyist-paid trip for 5 Conservative members. They yelled out, Mr. Speaker, to correct me, it was 2 lobbyist-paid trips. They think that makes it better. Mr. Speaker, I'm curious, was the Chateaubriand that they consumed, was that a steak or a €600 bottle of wine? Perhaps they could come to committee and answer those questions.
Colleagues, l'honorable député de Montmagny, Lillet, Kamouraska, Rivière-du-Loup.
Monsieur le Président, l'Alliance Bloc libéral.
The Bloc Liberal Alliance continues. Last Monday at the Ethics Committee, the RCMP Commissioner was in attendance and ready to testify about the Prime Minister's interference in the SNC-Lavalin affair. The Liberals wanted to adjourn the meeting, and who supported them? The Bloc Québécois. The MP for Trois-Rivières voted with the Liberals to protect the Prime Minister. It costs a lot to vote for the Bloc. After 8 years of this government, it's doing everything it can to hold on. What did the Prime Minister promise the Bloc Québécois to get their support?
L'honorable secrétaire parlementaire.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Speaking of costs, I'm just curious, what does a $1,000 meal at the Savoy restaurant for 3 courses of a lunch, what does that look like? Maybe the Conservatives who went on a lobbyist-paid trip could come to committee and explain that. Instead, Mr. Speaker, they are bringing up a case that the RCMP has considered closed for years as a way to block from the committee studying the exorbitant champagne taste that Conservatives seem to have.
Colleagues.